Everybody likes a good disaster movie. You know, mankind as a species has always been obsessed with its own annihilation. And one that scared me pretty bad when I was a lot younger was the movie Core, where the core of the Earth stops spinning, and they have to build this super drill that can, withstand superheat. And they go down there and they reactivate it with nuclear missiles, because that's science. Meanwhile, the Golden Gate Bridge is melting. Now, it's pretty cheesy and unrealistic, but if you watch it now, there is one scene in particular that serves as a decent metaphor for Call of Duty, right? So they go down there with this nuclear arsenal to create this massive explosion, but at one point, they lose like one of the nukes or part of the nuclear material or something like that. So they're like, shit, we can't do it now. And then the scientist on the group, because there's only one scientist who went down there for whatever reason, is like, wait, I have an idea. We'll drop several nukes in a few specific spots, and the ripple effects will multiply off of one another to create the same effect as one giant nuke. Also science. Now, a Call of Duty match comes down to the ripple effects. Ripples are those rings you see when you throw a stone in a still body of water. The stone displaces water, which then displaces other water, which displaces even more water, and so on. And so it's an easy metaphor that people have used for a long time to understand causal chains. And Call of Duty matches are just a complex system of causal chains. A series of strings of actions and reactions that intertwine and pull in two opposite directions, one towards victory, the other towards defeat. And a good Call of Duty player will think of the long-term ripple effects of every action he makes, while keeping in mind that positive actions will have favorable reactions, and negative actions not so much. For example, it's the beginning of a match, and both teams are fighting hard to get that B flag. It has yet to be captured. Now, you get a care package, and let's say you drop in enemy territory, with the intention of baiting your enemies with their own greed, and then slaying them as they squirm for a free enemy kill streak. So let's say this distracts 2 or 3 of their team, making it much easier for your team to not only capture B, but to set up in defensive positions around B. Now when the bad guys give up on, or succeed in, capturing that care package, they'll remember to go after B. But when they do, they'll have some struggles because your guys are going to be ready and waiting, right? And the resulting kills may be that your team gets on the enemy as they rush the defensively fortified positions. The resulting kills maybe earn one or two of your players UAVs or counter UAVs, and with those counter UAVs and UAVs up, your team earns even more kills. Maybe somebody is able to earn a better kill streak using the combined effect of a UAV counter UAV, and they get like a sentry gun, and so they place the sentry gun on B. That keeps B safe, and so your team is free to engage in a spawn trap. So you went from a contested B flag and a contested match to a very safe B flag and a full-on spawn trap. All of these were outcomes of ripples, resulting from other ripples that resulted from the initial rock in the pond or your care package in the enemy spawn. Now obviously there are some hypotheticals there, and the effectiveness of your ripples will often have a lot to do with the skill of your team, but when you hear about someone carrying a team, what that means is that they are simply causing a whole bunch of positive causal chains. Because every action does have a reaction. Ripples emanate from every single thing you do. When you kill someone, obviously they're dead. That's the most immediate, effect, reaction. And obviously you're one closer to your score streak. But also remember, they now have to start over whatever score streak they had. They have lost their strategic positioning. They're going to have to waste time getting from their spawn back into the fight. If it was a frustrating kill, you may have had an impact on their psychology. It pissed them off, so they start playing over aggressively, which is a polite term for stupidly. You've potentially saved the life of one of your own teammates. If the guy you killed was a camper, maybe that teammate will go down or go on to do great things, like call in a VSAT, and that VSAT will have its own very powerful ripple effects. When you cap a flag, that's the flag that the enemy will have to cap back. Probably some of them will die trying to cap that flag. You just gave another teammate the opportunity to earn their own score streaks. It's the little things that lead to bigger things. As a rule, success builds off of success, right? And the most meaningful ripples will always come from score streaks like UAVs, counter UAVs, and VSATs will have the most powerful ripple effects of all. This also makes score streaks the most meaningful reward of whatever ripples you are creating. So it's sort of cyclical. You get score streaks to create ripples. You want to get score streaks out of your ripples. For example, I'm playing with Waffles. He calls in a VSAT. I use his VSAT to get my VSAT. He uses my VSAT to get his VSAT. We are literally rippling off of one another. And the ripples are multiplying and becoming so powerful that the enemy is drowning in tidal waves of ripples. So many times I've lost a close match and, looked back and thought, well, shit, if only that one thing had gone my way, if only I had gotten one kill that got me my VSAT, or capped that flag that one time, that one action would have had a powerful string of ripples that could have easily turned this game in my direction. If you lose a close game, imagine, do you think you would have lost that close game if you had had a VSAT up? Or something like that. That is the ripples, determining the effects, the outcomes of matches. And ultimately, that is the importance to understanding ripple effects, is that one action can change everything. I've been going for 100+ kill gameplays, because I want to get on the Mark of J's Subscriber Tuesday thing, and I think that's the only way to do it. And I keep getting to like the high 80s, and every single time it's like, man, if I had just gotten that one kill to get my swarm or my dogs, it would have pushed me over the top, Because one kill results in a kill streak that gets you 30 kills. It's ripple effects. Those 30 kills make the enemy back out. Suddenly, the enemy team is playing 3 or 4 guys down. It's the ripple effects, and you gotta always be thinking about the ripple effects. Because ultimately, the importance is, one action really can change everything. And so just keep that in mind when you are trying to achieve victory in whatever game you might be playing. Please rate. This is Batman, signing out.